Hello everyone, Elite Clockwoman here. The episode 39 part 4 is out, and although I'm late with my analysis because I've been feeling tired for the last few days as I've been making videos every day, but I can't leave you without fresh and amazing content. Overall, this episode in my opinion was one of the best episodes ever made by domstudio. The battles that were in anime style, and also the appearance of Mr.Dom in this episode just drove me crazy. And it was really freaking awesome. And finally, everyone began to reveal their cards as the finale is very soon. Also, the agents finally realized that Megatron is not the dude who can be trusted. And in the future episodes, we are waiting for something really crazy, as I assume that soon between agents and toilets may appear an alliance, but more about this later in the analysis. In general, in this video, we as always try to find secrets and details and understand what is waiting for us next. But before we get into that, make sure to like and subscribe if you think Mr.Dom is hot. And here we go. The episode begins with the battle of the Commander against the future large Clockman, and the Clockman got a good punch that even broke through the wall and flew outside defending himself with his shield. Bro definitely loves Marvel, and copies Captain America, and also Doctor Strange, as he started to cast his magic tricks. But for some reason he stopped and waited for the Commander. But suddenly the Commander was almost shot, but he was able to dodge it, and we saw a Strider that literally appeared out of nowhere. But it is obvious that it was summoned by the Clockman when he cast his magic. And then the Strider himself started to show his tricks, as some spikes appeared out of the ground and started moving towards the Commander. But the purpose of this attack was to distract the Commander so that the Strider could hit him with his web. Also note that the web seemed to have energy that paralyzed the Commander. And I was surprised that the Strider could pull something like that off. And after he grabbed him, he started to wrap the web around him like a cocoon, and then started to carry him somewhere. But the Commander is the Commander in more than just words, and was able to break free pretty easily. But what's crazier is that the bro can move so fast in this dome where time is stopped. But there is a white energy behind him, which may mean that this is not his full speed. But it was enough to cut the Strider into pieces in 5 seconds. And we realized that the clock's abilities act only for a couple of seconds on the Commander. And this we saw when he was in a cocoon, and when these a couple of seconds passed, he was able to break free. In short, the Commander needs to be nerfed. Bro is too strong, and I cannot even imagine how future Clockmen can defeat him. But Clockman was too confident, because he said maybe he needs to fight at full force. And he seems to be a bit dumb if he underestimates the Commander. I mean, this dude moves in a dome where time is stopped and only clocks can move. He also smashed the Strider in 5 seconds. And bro just says maybe he should start fighting at full force. Bruh is really dumb. Also check the description below the episode. Future large Clockman is holding back, but why? Can he really survive against the Commander if he keeps holding back? Nah, there is no way bro can survive if he holds back. To be honest, I even doubt he can survive if he will fight at full force, and even we don't know anything about the Commander's abilities. But the fact that bro is fast as a flash and his body is durable than Superman's makes him almost unbeatable. Plus he's not affected by the clock abilities. So I doubt that the Clockman can win this battle. But we'll only find out in the new episode, because after he restored the Strider, the scene changed, and some cool anime scenes started. And our little anime speaker woman is slashing Skibidi Mutant, and I absolutely love how domstudio added effects to her katanas. It's already like Demon Slayer bruh, but I like it a lot. And while the speaker woman was having fun, our guys were fighting Billy, and check how well they did on the effects and the slow-mo and all those faster anime lines. It's a joy to watch. But while Plungerman was flying near Billy, he left him a souvenir in the form of a grenade that blew up his face pretty good. But the scene changed, and we saw William slowly walking towards a strange drillman who was just drilling the ground. And finally, the bro showed what he could do because after he gathered energy, he fired a powerful laser beam at William. By the way, check the sound when he was about to fire the laser beam. We heard a sound as if this device was being charged to release a laser beam. And I assume that with this device, Drillman somehow collects energy from the ground and can use this energy to attack, and also possibly for something else. Maybe he also used that energy to enter the barrier to stop the bomb. But even understanding this, we have absolutely no information about this dude. He just appears out of nowhere and saves everyone's ass. And not for nothing, he is the smartest character in the show. But William was able to block the laser beam, but all of a sudden, a dagger flew at him. But bro was able to stop it without even looking. And bro's reaction is really on another level. But now comes the most epic fight scene in the history of the show. And it's like we're in a Spider-Man cartoon, and what Drillman did shocked me, because bro literally used his Sharingan like he was Madara fighting a billion shinobi, and it's like time slowed down for a few seconds and it's really sick. And I really like that Naruto reference. But William started to release his gas that make hallucinations, and the guys ended up on the roof of some car that was rushing somewhere. And William started to dominate the battle, but at the decisive moment, Drillman was able to dodge the first blow, but couldn't dodge the second. And the bro ended up on the street of some city where he almost got hit by a train. And I'm not gonna lie, what's going on here is crazy. But for me, it's the coolest scene I've seen. Trains are coming out of everywhere, and it's really crazy. But Drillman was lucky that it wasn't the first time he'd been affected by that gas, and he was ready for a surprise attack from the air, and was able to dodge the shrapnel flying at him. And I especially liked their collision, because everything started to flicker, and it was like we were in different places at the same time. I don't know if it was planned or a bug, but it looks really cool. I also heard a very familiar sound as they collided. And I've heard it before, but I can't remember it, so please tell me if you know anything about it. After the collision, Drillman was able to dodge another attack, and then was able to cut off William's arm. But he tried to counterattack, but Drillman was stronger this time, and literally put his head under the train, which was actually the control panel of the cage Drillwoman was in. But the scene changed again, and we saw TV Woman, which was covered by a piece of debris from the laser beam that was released by one of the zombies, and bro almost cooked TV Woman. But at the right moment, she was saved by Plungerman, who diverted the mutant's attention to himself. But everything was so fast that she didn't even realize what had happened. But that's no reason to relax, as the other big guy woke up. But she was able to stop him with her white beam, and went to Drill Woman, as the barrier was no longer there, and teleported her to the other agents. And looking at all this, the mysterious Drill Man is back to drilling the ground as bro knows more that we do for sure. But we were shown Plunger Man, who was injured, but luckily the Clockwoman was there to heal him, and he gave a thumbs up that he was fine. But then we were shown a very important moment that will turn our understanding of toilets upside down, as Billy saw that his friend was in danger and tried to protect him and told the agents to get out of here and release some kind of wind wave that blew away absolutely everyone except the assassin, because bro is on another level. And then Billy said he won't let his friend die, but his body was on edge and completely shaking because he used too much energy. But suddenly William stood up and said he cursed the agents because they should never have existed and that they are murderers of innocence. And then something crazy happened as well, because for the first time in the history of Skibidi universe, the TV Woman started talking, and she said it was war, and they had lost an entire race pointing to an assassin. But it didn't affect William, because he said he expected that answer from AI, and then he said that they thought war gave them the right to kill children. And during their dialogue, Drillman jumped from some random hole, and he seemed to understand what William was talking about because he's smart, and then he jumped back in, and TV Woman said that they had no idea what children William was talking about because they had never killed them. But suddenly, something started beeping, and it was the same pen that Megatron gave to Assassin in episode 28. And out of the pen came Megatron's voice saying that they shouldn't listen to what William was saying because he was lying because he wanted to buy more time to distract them. But even the assassin realized it sounded suspicious, but Megatron said he wouldn't even try to convince them. And this pen rose into the air and opened some kind of portal from which appeared painted bombs that were going to destroy everyone. And finally, the agents realized that Megatron wasn't the guy to trust, and Clockwoman stopped the bombs using her powers. And then Plungerman said to use the cube that would teleport them out of there, which was supposed to be at Drillman's. And after he got the cube, he started thinking about something. And I even thought he thought about saving those guys. But then he decided not to save them, and together with the squad, they got out of there. And for me, it was one of the saddest moments, because in fact, these guys are not guilty of anything, and they just wanted to live with their families and be happy. But damn, Megatron ruined everything. But I'm very glad that they stick together and are ready to die for each other. But also pay attention to the fact that when the squad teleported, there was no that strange drill man. And to be honest, I don't understand how he got inside the base. And I even think he's connected to Mr.Dom, who will be here in a minute. After the agents left the place, everything started to fall apart, and William told Billy to get out of there because it was over for him. But this Gigachad said he would stay with his friend, and that moment almost tore my heart apart. Billy is a real Sigma, and let's give him some respect for not leaving his friend. And it seemed like it was over for these guys. But suddenly everything literally stopped, and it wasn't a time ability, it was something else. Some mystical and incredible power that is beyond our comprehension. And all of a sudden we hear something coming. And oh yeah, baby, it's Mr. Dom, who is literally a king of this party. and who became instantly one of my favorite characters because of his crazy aura that warps even space. And when we saw his face, the episode ended. And honestly, the Mr.Dom reveal was the best for me in the entire run of the show. It was truly mind-blowing and cinematic. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even get the same vibe when Daddy Clockman came back in episode 30 as I did when Mr. Dom showed up. And this is exactly the kind of event that will change the course of the storyline and give the story even more color. But let's think about his personality and why he's here and why he did what he did. And in fact, Mr. Dom appeared in the series even earlier than you think, but he always acted from the shadows, and we even have confirmation of these words as domstudio left a comment under one of the videos where they wrote, "Yeah, Mr. Dom sure is the one who has a connection with the YouTuber Association." Also part 5, the final part, confirmed. And they literally told us that he's connected to the YouTubers, and to really prove to you that he's been around for a long time, we have to go back to episode 28 when the YouTubers had a dialogue where Moby said, "Who's gonna report this to him?"
Who's gonna report this to him?
Nah, I can go for a good meal.
And I'm almost 99% sure that they should report it to Mr. Dom, and he is their leader. Since the Dom studio said he's connected to the YouTubers, and if we haven't seen him with them, that means he's their leader who gives them all the orders. But even if that's true, why are they doing what they're doing? Why are they killing agents and looking for apocalypse books? Why are they trying to blow up the clock tower? Honestly, we won't know until the moment comes for it to be revealed. But according to the elite Clockman, they're doing it for the future of their friends.
But I assure you whatever we did and will do is for the sake of our friends' future.
And I assume by friends he means Alliance agents, so they're probably on the Alliance side. Or they are on no one's side at all, and they are trying to get justice for everyone. And that's why Mr. Dom saved the toilets, because he knows they are innocent of what they are doing. Because it was all set up by Megatron. And maybe there was no war in this world in the first place, and it was all set up by Megatron to have the two sides tear themselves apart so that it would be easy for the Master to finish off those who remain and take over the planet. I suspect that there will be an alliance between the toilets and the agents to defeat the common enemy in the form of the Master. But of course, before that alliance, and the toilets will still be fighting, and there will be heavy casualties among the two sides, as we are about to face the G-Man apocalypse, and this dude can do something bad to our Titans. But by the end of the show, I think they're gonna unite to defeat the Grand Boss. But at what cost? Probably at the cost of everything, and it's gonna be the craziest finale that could possibly give some movies a kick in the ass.